Voices in your head. Voices in your head are real, not made up. Everyone has voices, thoughts, echoes in their mind. I was in Starbucks today and there was someone acting a little bit unruly, a little bit like wild. I said to myself, I had a voice in my head. I said, look at this psychopath. I didn't say it out loud, but in my mind, I had a thought. I had a voice. There's times in the day, sometimes I say, oh, I hate life. There's times in my day, sometimes that I have bad voices, good voices. I don't really have destructive voices. I know some people may struggle with that. I've never been that type of person. I know there are people out there like that. But I want to address this because I read a news article today about a man in Boca Raton, Florida, that went into a mosque and ripped up pages of the Quran. He was a Pakistani man, or he was from Palestine, excuse me. He was a man from Palestine, but he lived in Florida. But he went to the mosque and he ripped up the Quran and he started cursing all the church members. Why? Because his wife had went there several weeks ago and his wife had mental problems, voices in her head. And she went to the mosque and supposedly, based on what this man had said, the members of that religious organization had told her that she has demons in her head. And that caused her to spiral out of control and to kill herself. And so the husband went in the church and cursed everyone in it and ripped up the Quran, said, basically, look, you did not recognize that mental health is not just spiritual. There's a science behind it. And many times religion could be used in a hurtful way where it doesn't recognize science. It doesn't recognize life outside of religious mumbo jumbo. And all religions are like that. Even Christianity, I've seen it in the church. And I've seen pastors try to pray for someone's healing. And I think you should have faith, whatever your faith is, if it's good and wholesome. I think you should pray for the sick. I think you should pray for people to be delivered. But I think you should acknowledge that science, health, and, look, there's just mental problems, and there's physical problems. Like my mom has diabetes. I remember one time being at the Jersey Shore and I had left my mom sitting down on a bench while I went to a store to get something. I said, Mom, I'll be right back. And I guess there was some type of an evangelist, some young kid. He was an evangelist, so he saw my mom sitting, so he started to talk to her. And then he was like, can I pray for you or anything? And she's like, well, my knee's hurting. Her knee was hurting because she was severely overweight and she's diabetic and everything else. And so he was praying for her. And then I started to walk back to my mom and I seen somebody by my mom. So I started to rush a little bit back and see what this guy was talking about. And when I had got there, he was basically saying, can you stand up? Can you stand up? I think I did something. So he was praying and he thought all of a sudden, because of his prayers, he delivered her from her knee pain and that she should stand up. And I seen that on you see that on late night religious shows, pastors pray for someone, people start jumping. Oh, I'm healed. And that's dangerous. And that's why I'm making this video, because that needs to be exposed. Whether it's like the Palestine man that went to the mosque in Boca Raton and cursed everyone in there, or like I've seen in the Christianity church, some people misleading others. Look, guys, you have to expose, stand up, and rebuke religious dogma that's harmful to society. There's still more work to be done. Okay. And some people are psychopaths. Some people do have destructive voices. We all have good and bad voices in our head. So get over it, okay? Now, I know a lot of you guys who are transgender, you guys got a lot of voices, and I'm for equal rights, but there's a lot of voices there. There's a lot of conflictedness. And I've seen it in dealing with a lot now on social media and YouTube. You know, they're attracted to me because I do stand up for equal rights. I think if you want to be gay, you should be able to be gay. If you want to be lesbian, you should be able to be, if you want to be transgender, whatever. But I say that too because I think I don't know if the confliction is because they feel like they're doing something taboo. Like even heterosexuals, like Marin came to me, Marin's 70, and she's from a different generation where they never talked about sex. And I said, Marin, I started talking about giving blowjobs, and Marin was like blown away. She was like, well, we never talked about blowjobs when I was young. Because in that time, like anything to do with sex, even if it was heterosexual sex, was taboo. And so religion had a lot of times caused people to suppress or not recognize that there's voices in your head for a variety of reasons. Now, some good, some bad, some you shouldn't listen to, some you may need professional help. And even when you get that help, there's no guarantee. There's plenty of people that commit suicide, and I'm not, but I'm just saying there's no guarantee, and there's no one answer for everyone's voices in their head. But I take issue with calling them demons. Now, you may just be an asshole, okay? So if you're an asshole, do I call you a demon? Well, I don't care. You're to me, the same thing. Demon, asshole, whatever. And, again, and you're not automatically a good person. You're not automatically a good person, if you're religious. You're not automatically a good person because you're gay. Like, I've had a lot of people guilt trip me about that. Like, automatically, like, I have to like them. I don't like some straight people. Like, so I may not like you. Who are you? And don't lie to people, okay? Now, I don't know if you're lying to people because you're lying to yourself. And seek, if you need help, if you're really bad, but I say that to myself. I say, Sam, how can you tell people if they need help, go seek it? When someone's in a bad mental state, you can't speak rationally to them because they're not rational. But I'm making this video because I read that news article today and I wanted to touch on it because it made me sad. It made me sad. Because I hate to see that. I felt bad for the husband. I felt bad for the wife who killed herself. I felt bad for the people in the religious organization because I saw that. I was involved with a church for many years. And I think the people in the church are good-hearted. I think a lot of times they're just regurgitating what they were taught generation through generation. And the church literature, whatever scriptures they helped them. So some people, some of the church scriptures helped me too. But I also was able to break away and still think for myself, and that kind of was a saving grace as well. So it's like a balance of all those things in society. But hopefully, some of those psychopaths or just some of the people struggling with everyday thoughts, they see the thumbnail, they see this title, and they recognize, look, you may have bad thoughts. You may have a thought like, I don't know, you want to hurt someone, you want to hurt yourself. I don't really go down that road. I certainly have thoughts like, sometimes I hate life. I definitely have negative thoughts. I definitely have negative voices. I think we all do. But overall, I have positive too, and you get horny voices. You see someone hot you want to have sex with. Some people can't control that. Some people can't control their sexual desires and they become totally like a predator. And that's what you'll see, like How to Catch a Predator. Now, do they have demons in their mind? They're definitely, their mind is corrupt. And now, whether you want to call it a demon or chemical imbalance, now should they be locked up? Yes, because they shouldn't be in society. And I don't think you can reform certain people with certain mental illness. I don't. It's just the way it is. Now, look, if someone abducts someone and they rape them, or if they physically harm them, even if they have a mental illness, I don't think they should be out in society. And that probably scares some of the psychopaths that'll watch this because they say, oh shit, I'm a psychopath on the low. You want me locked up forever? Well, it's a balance of thought. But all I can tell you is, look, everyone has certain thoughts, okay? Now, some people cannot help themselves and they act out bad thoughts. Again, if you act out a bad enough thought, look, there's got to be a consequence. Why? Because even though I believe in forgiveness, you can't have people that are a danger to society being loose in society. You can't. But I certainly don't believe in labeling it demonic. And I got caught into that church game. I never really, I can't say that I fully engulfed in it, but I was definitely into it. And when I saw that news article today, when the guy, he got pissed, he went into the mosque, and he started cursing everyone out, I certainly understood his frustration. Now, in one sense, I think his wife probably would have killed herself regardless, because she was obviously having major mental illness. So I don't know if the mosque pushed her over the edge or why. I think no matter what, she would have, she was probably in a certain mental state. Now, whether or not she was taking care of her mental health, doing what she needed to do, I don't know. Again, I know family members, they don't take care of their physical health. And I understand why not, because some people can't take care of themselves. So if you don't take care of your physical health and you die of a physical sickness, nothing anyone can do. Same thing with your mental sickness. If you have a mental illness and you don't take care of yourself, there's nothing anyone can do to help you. Okay, so I still love my mother. She has physical obesity. She struggles with different issues, but nothing anyone can do if that person doesn't want to, So same thing with mental. You should always look at physical and mental, even though they're different. Same thing. Like if someone's a glutton, does that mean they have a demon in their mind to eat cheese and chocolate at night? No. I mean, they just, I don't know, it's just people struggle. So I'm over there, I'm thinking about cream pie and a Latino MILF, and some overweight chick who's struggling with bad thoughts, she's thinking about eating a cream pie. I'm thinking about giving a hot girl a cream pie. Now, Marin probably don't know what that is because she was born another generation. And somebody's thinking about eating a cream pie, and they're probably going to die of diabetes. We got different voices in our head. But even my voice, I'm not going to cream pie anybody. Why? I don't want kids. Okay. So I'm able to take my thoughts captive. Now, even that's a religious scripture, but I'm able to control my thoughts somewhat. I mean, can any of us be mentally broken? Sure, anyone can. But that's it. I don't want to drag it out. I want to address it. Look, I wanted to make a video tonight about what would you do with $1 million. I'll probably do that tomorrow because I don't like, too deep topics, but I need to address it. I felt in my spirit. I got to be true to my truth. I needed to address it, to put it out there. Will it change anything? Yeah, hopefully it'll help someone, maybe. But what I could tell you is, I just broke it down. Let me not stretch it out. Let me take a hydration break, and then we'll go into all live comments. And I appreciate, too, if you guys take the effort to click that thumbs up button and share the video. Look, some people can't control themselves. They think about, like I say, they think about killing their ex-wife. They think about, now they may not act on it, but they think about it. I know someone like that. Again, I've often said he was pro-life. He used to get very upset when people would talk about abortion. But he also wished that that God would take his ex-wife because he had to pay alimony. So he was pro-life, but he wanted his ex-wife dead. It's, it's the mind, guys. It's the mind. And he prayed every day. Good man, too. But, what was that a demon in his mind that wanted his ex-wife dead? Well, he definitely wanted to take home more, pay in his paycheck because he was getting his paycheck garnished. When you go through a divorce, I think you'll have, you can either say demons in your head, you could have bad thoughts, you're going to wish probably death on your ex-wife or ex-husband. I think when you're a caretaker for long enough, I think you kind of wish the person would die. I mean, so are they demonic thoughts? I think, I think the human has thoughts in their head, some good, some bad. Certainly some of them do not need to be acted upon, and certainly some people can't control it. And all the noise of the different thoughts cause people to really work themselves up, and they can't maintain sanity. And I understand that. So that's why some people will say, Sam, I'd just rather watch cartoons all day. And I understand that, but I could watch a cartoon. Like I had YouTube Google Thundercats, which was a cartoon when I was younger. I said, well, let me watch cartoons. Maybe there's something to that. But then I watched that cartoon and I started getting sad because it made me think of my dog. Because, they got all animals, superheroes, like they're animals. So even you're not even safe watching cartoons. Different behavior can cause your mind to have different thoughts. Certainly, just like your body, what you feed your mind plays a part. I watched one YouTube video that's talking about overcoming bad inner voices. Okay, like overcoming the voices in your head. But it was very much over therapy, where people don't understand, and basically blaming outside voices for being your inside voice. It said like the only voices inside your head are voices that were at one time outside your head. Like your parents said something to you, a bully said something to you. That's BS. I don't believe that. I believe some people, again, there's a certain way and they got voices in their head. They get all worked up. Now, can outside voices affect that or aggravate that? Yeah. Like I'm sure some of the psychopaths in here, like there's 3 of them at least that come in here all the time that thumbs down. They said something to me, then I said, I told them what Gandhi said. Gandhi said, I'm not going to let anyone walk through my mind with their dirty feet. So there's a couple people that have bad mental health that left a couple comments, and I wasn't going to allow it because look, I don't care if you do have issues. It's not for you to put your issues on me. You got to go seek professional help. But they have a right. They have a YouTube channel with a fake profile. They have a right to come on and thumbs down. But every day they do that. So to me, it shows me an extreme poor mental health. And I'm sure they got voices in their head. One of their voices is, I have to come in this channel every night and thumbs down. But I actually look at that and I said, man, that's someone really struggling. But I'm not going to pander to it. Why? Because it doesn't do anything either. Because then the prisoners run the inmate. I mean, the prisoners run the prison. Insane people can run the insane asylum if you just keep pacifying them. Now, I'm not for always punishing. I like grace. I like compassion. But what I'm here to tell you, behind every enabling, unhealthy relationship is, you letting people get away with murder. And then they just then they think they run the show. And that's why they're sitting over there. Maybe they got legit mental issues, but they're sitting there living with their parents, and they're basically telling their parent they want to kill them, and like ordering pizza with their credit card and they're running the show in their house. Now, I understand a parent's heart. A parent's heart's like, well, my kid, I don't know if he's got demons in his head or he's just got, he was born with a learning disability. That's possible. I know a couple people in here, they have a child with a disability. And, they know the only other option, if I don't let my child with this disability live with me, then they got to go live in a home, like some type of assistant living or something like that. And sometimes that's needed. I had a family member one time, like a distant cousin, that she went into a home. She actually did pretty good. So, I don't know. I mean, everyone has a different situation. They have to evaluate that for themselves. But, and there's like people with like what they call Tourette's syndrome. I remember we had someone in our high school like that. They were in the room with the carpet and they were in a short bus, but once in a while you would see them in a hallway. I think it was a girl, and she would like just let out curses, because I don't know what it is with Tourette's syndrome, but I guess they got voices in their head. And so like I see a psychopath in Starbucks, I don't go and say F you, man. But like someone with Tourette's, they'll tell them like F you, because they can't control the thought. So is that a demon? I think it's a neurological like way you're wired. I mean, it's some unexplainable thing. I can't explain it. Now, no one can fully explain everything. I mean, I'm sure there's science to it. And again, there's science, there's faith, and there's a mixture of a thought in society. So, me addressing it tonight, I think, is at least shedding some light on the issue. And I want to do that. I mean, because I can make a million fun videos. I wanted to make a video tonight about what would you do with $1 million. I'll save that for tomorrow. But when I read that article, like I said, it just made me sad. It made me sad. And I said, well, let me put my 2 cents in. Let me try to make the world a little bit better place. But we'll go from there. Let me roll down my windows, and we'll go to all live comments. Chad, what's up, man? Chad, good to see you, brother. Let me take a hydration break. How's Minnesota, man? It's a little warmer. Chad, I know you were struggling. I'll never forget your comment. He was like, man, my mental health is not in a good place right now. Let's read what we got to say. He says, Chad, I didn't hear your advice. I'm clearly losing it because of it. Chad goes, I'm salty and sweet. Half of me wants to stay single. The other half of me, for whatever reason, wants to do the work and find a girl. chat continues. But it's probably the hardest work I'll ever do. Well, yes, I mean, the problem with that is, good to see you, Chet. The problem with that is there's nothing wrong if you have a dream to be in a relationship. The problem with it is that you can do all the work you want. A relationship only works if two people are putting in the equal amount of work. If not, it's going to end up in a disaster. And even when both people are putting in the equal amount of work, eventually it becomes unbalanced. One person is putting in more work than the other, then resentment builds up, and then divorce happens or the breakups happen. And if you have poor mental health and you get into a breakup, you're going to be a psychopath. You're going to be like some of these psychopaths I see on here. They come in here, they're sweet, they're tender, and it doesn't matter. I've seen some straight, some homosexual, some transgender, and they're sweet. They got, you should see some of the videos they watch. It's like, I don't know if it, like there's some like heterosexual porn I don't watch because it's like too, I think that's demonic. Like the heterosexual porn, like where you basically like beat the other person up in sex. I clicked on somebody's channel the other day. They had some like transgender video, and it was like the same type of heterosexual like wild porn, but it was like on a whole nother transgender level. And I said, oh shit, people do some crazy stuff, man. But who am I to judge? But what I could tell you is this. I think if someone has a poor mental health, I think you gotta be very cautious getting in relationships. I think you should have fun. I think no one's perfect. I think everyone's got voices in their head. Some good, some bad. Some people can control them, some can't. But for many people, a bad relationship can totally put them mentally out of balance, and they go psychopath. And then they actually do. They kill their lover, or they destroy themselves. I mean, same thing with gambling or risky venture or different things. I mean, that can really hurt your mental health. In life, you do have to take some risk. I mean, I think taking risk makes you alive. So I don't want to tell you don't take the risk of having a relationship. I don't want to tell you don't take the risk of a risky venture. But the risk has to be in somewhat proportion of your health. So like if you're doing something too risky in business, you have to reallocate a certain amount of your money to safe, stable investments so that you don't go out of balance. And so like if you're trying for a relationship, you have to keep a certain amount of your emotional and mental health in a stable environment that you can handle a little bit of volatility. And that's a very delicate balance, and there's no exact science. But I don't care who you are. If you're looking for a straight relationship, gay relationship, transgender relationship, it all applies the same. And I think sometimes people think that there's a different rule to apply. There's no different rule, guys. Because no matter what type of person you like, no matter what type of sex you like, okay, you're human, okay? You're not some superhero. You're human, okay? And that's it. But I think a lot of times, I don't know, I think a lot of times when things have been considered taboo, like again, Marin, she's 70, she's from a different generation, just regular sex, a regular blowjob was very taboo. And there was a season of America, like where being gay was very taboo, and now like transgender is starting to come. And so I think when something's very taboo, people tend to like rebel hard against it, right? So like in the 70s, when you had the hippies, it was like people saying, look, I don't want to play to this. We should talk about sex more. And I think that was a good thing. And then certainly that's evolved to gay, lesbian, transgender. And so, but I think to a certain extent, sometimes people overreach the other way, right? And they try to push the envelope so hard that they push themselves out of mental balance. Because look, no one's going around all day, every day, giving blowjobs, okay? Whether you're a guy, girl, girl, horse, whatever, okay? So I think that's something to be said in your mind. I mean, there's people that are addicted to sex. That's voices in your head where I do think it's healthy to masturbate. Why? Because I think that we are sexual beings, right? And I think you have a different mindset when you're not all backed up. I think some people, instead of the sexual desire, they have an emotional desire. That's why, again, sometimes people get like 2-3 service dogs, okay? That dog ain't been trained. They throw a service jacket on it they got from Dollar Tree, and now you got a psychopath running around with an untrained chihuahua. What a disaster. I said that to myself and my mom, but I didn't say that to them. I said, look at this psychopath with this fake service dog. A service dog ain't even trained most of the time. The service dog is running the show with the psychopath. What a disaster. Now, do they got demons in their head? I don't know. It's a disaster. But look, I mean, I want to be positive. What a disaster. All right, let's stay positive. Let's go next topic. Let me look at my life here. It's a disaster out there. I don't know. Maybe it's good. Maybe it's good. We'll see. Good to see you, Chad. Gina, what's up, brother? How are you, man? Gina wanted a relation for a while. Gina, how you holding up, man? You still like being single, or you still out there on Tinder trying to make it happen? Chad, very mentally taxing. Oh, relationship, big time. Like I said, I think for me, two things have really thrown me off balance mentally. A relationship and too much risk in a business venture. Whether you want to say day trading or just too much money in a risky investment. Those two things, a relationship, because again, I think in life you need some risk. I think you need to experience relationships. I think you need to experience having a business or doing some type of risky investment. But I also think to balance it out, you have to also have some of your emotional health and some of your financial health in stability. Okay? There's value in stability. And that's why for some people, again, I don't think they'd be good as nomads because there's not a lot of stability. And me getting a home base eventually, if I do, that may be a level of stability. But right now, why I don't like a home base is I don't like too much commitment because that actually makes me have more mental anxiety. So, I go through a process where I process my thoughts and I analyze them. Some people say I analyze them too much. Some people say I overthink. Well, that's me. Look, hey, I like to see your track record in life. A lot of people that tell you overthink, you look at their track record in life, they should have thought a little bit more about their life. I'll tell you that much. But let's continue to read. Jacob, hey, Sam. Hey, Jacob, good to see you, brother. How are you doing today? Overall, it was a good day. I want to say I'm thankful. How was your day? I'm good. Got off of work early. Good job. Instead of telling my mom, I went to the movies and got food. Okay, brother. I'm not mad at that. Jacob says, I feel you on the religious junk. Good job, brother. Last night I went with my mom to church, and in the middle of service, I asked, and she told me the reason she made me go to church last night was to see if the pastor was gay. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Well, let me continue reading and I'll comment on that. Because Jacob, he coming in with some heat tonight. He says, I'm like, how? Question mark. Like, seriously? I'm not gay. So how is me being there help you determine the pastor's gay? She tried to maybe on the low, like, see if you were gay. She maybe try to see, like, is my son gay? Let me ask him about another gay guy. She might have did that. And then Jacob goes, sorry for ranting. No, I think this is an interesting comment. A little angry over here using me. I'm not mad at you, man. I'm not mad. Hey, Jacob, too, like, yeah. And one is, I don't even care if your pastor's gay. I don't care if he's transgender. Guys, I'm all for equal rights. Whatever someone wants to do, they should do them. But also, like, don't overdo it. Because sometimes people, like, think, well, because it's been so taboo, like, now I could be, like, totally, like, whatever. I don't care what you do. But the bottom line is, yeah, it's not your job to see if your pastor's gay. And if he is gay, who cares? I don't care. Now, why they care is because some of the religious texts say it's a sin to be gay. But a lot of overweight women who ask you that, it's a sin to be a glutton. It's a sin to overeat. So the bottom line is, look, we're all sinners. And the bottom line is the Bible, the Quran, they're all out of date and they're archaic. Okay? And that's what this guy who I read the news story in Boca Raton, his wife had mental illness. And the archaic Quran, where basically Muhammad himself was a child molester. He married a 9-year-old. Okay, and the Bible's got a bunch of that stuff too. Instead of them just like trying to take the positive spiritual lessons of the Bible or the Quran, some of the archaic people who take word for word everything literally, they're harmful to society. Harmful. Because look, I don't care if you want to masturbate with a dildo when you're a girl or if you're a guy. I don't care. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it if you're not hurting anyone and that's what you like to do. I mean, you got to do you, man. Literally, do you? Now, if like in a Catholic church, that gay priest was giving blowjobs to altar boys, and then the Vatican tried to cover it up with their pro-life. F them. F them. And just like the guy went into the mosque today and started ripping up the Quran, someone should go in the Vatican and start ripping up the Bible and throw it right in the Pope's face. Because what took place in the Catholic Church with all that abuse of the kids, and then the Vatican turned a blind eye, total disgrace. Total disgrace. And that's why I make videos like this. I'd rather make a video about what would you do with $1 million. Huh. Now I got to make a video like this to get me all worked up. But we'll continue to read. XP Jeffy. What's up, Sam? What's up, man? This girl at, XP Jeffy about to get his life destroyed. Let's see what he got to say. This girl at work was telling me that there's a guy that pays a girl $200 to let them suck their toes. I grew up with some girls in high school. There used to be an older guy that would pay, he would pay them if he can masturbate in front of them. And what they do, they took that money. I'm not mad at them. The guy basically, he was in his 30s, I think, and we were in high school. I don't know what the girls were, 16. So, and it was two hot girls at that time. Now they overweight. They got like 2 kids. They don't look good, but that's all right. So what I could tell you is back then they were hot, they're young. And the guy was like, look, I don't know what he was paying, like 50. I'll pay you like $50, $100 if you watch me jerk off. And the girls were like, hey, that's good money. And they did it. Okay. So like Marin didn't know what blowjobs were. My generation, blowjob was like, that's small potatoes. So, but what I could tell you is this. There's some freaks out there, man. But let's continue to read. And then he goes, XP Jeffy goes, what's up, Sam? The girl at work was telling me that there was a guy that pays the girl $200 to let them suck their toes. He also says the dirtier the better. Oh, yeah. That guy has something going on. He's got voices in the head. Now, are those voices demons? Look, I don't know what you want to classify him at, but he may have mental problems. He may be sexually oppressed. I don't know. But the bottom line is, if he's a threat to society, if he's offering young women that, he should be, it's consequences, right? So like I say, because here's what happened. Like, I think about that now. The girls I grew up with in high school, they were only like 16. This guy was like 30. Technically, that's illegal, okay? So, because we're not back in the Quran days, like where you can marry a 9-year-old like Muhammad. Like, you'd get arrested for that now. So, like, these 16-year-old girls, they got like this 30-year-old guy masturbating in front of them. So, like, I guarantee you, I don't guarantee you, but I think there's a high likelihood, like now, if this guy got caught, he would basically say, well, I got a mental illness. And then they start copping a plea, like I couldn't control myself. And that's what I'm saying. Like, some people, they have a mental illness. It may not be a demon, but they're also, like, they don't go for the help until it's too late. So I don't know. I mean, but like I say, I mean, there's no excuse to put someone else in danger. Now, if two adults want to exchange money for sexual services, now in some parts that's illegal. I'm not mad at it. Now look at Robert Kraft, old ass Robert Kraft, who's a billionaire capitalist. He owns the New England Patriots. He came down to Jupiter, Florida, and he gave like $100 to some 50-year-old Chinese women to give him a blowjob and a hand job. And he got arrested, but he had a $1 million lawyer that got him off on a technicality. And the poor Chinese ladies, they got their whole business taken away from them. Why? Because in America, we worship the green calf. If you have money, you can get a hand job and you can get away from free. And he claimed not guilty, just like Trump said, I didn't do it. That's what Robert Kraft said. Robert Kraft said, Trump's boy. He said, look, I didn't do it. But he did do it. He was on tape. But he got the video evidence thrown out because the cops illegally put the video in the room. But he did it. But he claimed not guilty and he got away. The girls that didn't have no money to have like no high priced lawyer, they got screwed. So, hey man, look, if you got demons in your head, but you got the dollar bill in your pocket, you may get away with murder, literally. Now that's happened. Is it a disgrace? It's a disgrace. But I think, like, look, if two adults want to, if two adults want to exchange money for a hand job, I'm not mad at that. I don't know why that's even illegal. But, I don't do it. I just give myself a hand job. Why am I going to super chat someone else $100 when I give myself a hand job? I'll super chat myself $100 and give myself a hand job. That's why I need $100 million to have 100 million socks. Guys, I got to give myself a hand job. I got to save money. All right, let's take hydration break. What a disaster. Tony, what's up, man? Sam, good job. Stay positive. Thank you, brother. I love you, Tony. I appreciate your positive comments, man. Gilbert, hey, Sammy, had a great turnaround today. Well, damn it, brother. Good job. Guys, when we get knocked down, and I have bad days too, and I say bad things sometimes to myself, but you got to get back up. Stay positive. You have a lot going for you. So, Gilbert, I'm very proud of you, brother. You just take life one day at a time. Okay, that's always the key to life, guys. Just take it one day at a time. And that's it. Good job. Dennis, what's up, man? One of the best pieces of advice I ever got, it's normal to have anger, sadness, and hostilities. I agree. What's important is when you admit those feelings, you also know you don't have to act on them. I agree. And that's why I make videos to express that, because I think it should be talked about, and like, I would like to hear sermons sometimes that just say, there should be a sermon in church once a month that just says, I'm horny. I'm horny. And the pastor should get up there and say, look, I'm horny as hell. And that's what happens, but they don't do that. What they say is, let us confess our sins to God, let us stay pure, and then they go in the back room and they give a hand job to the altar boy. Or they cheat on their wife, and they have an adultery, and they're still collecting 10%. And now they're going to White Castle, getting their side piece, a 5-piece chicken McNugget. Well, you're 10%. If you're not part of a church that talks about being horny and getting angry, and what you can do to like kind of relieve some of those thoughts in a healthy, productive way, I think it's a game. And that's why I got out of the church game. Because after a while, I said, this is a game. Now, the church helped me. And there's some things in there that were a blessing to me. I want to acknowledge that. But there's also some things, just like this guy who smashed into the mosque today. There's also some bullshit. Okay, I got to be honest about it. It doesn't matter what religion. Islam, Christianity, Jewish, Buddhism, all bunch of, there's all good things in all of them, but there's all BS in all of them too. Come on, guys. So again, I don't think you want to classify every bad thought as a demon, but you definitely don't want to classify every thought as a good thought. It's good and bad. I mean, it's a mixture of both. Now, like today, what would you call the thought in Moses' head? When Moses came off the mountaintop and he saw people worshiping a golden calf, he had a thought. He called it God. He said, God spoke to me and said, I should kill 3,000 people, men, women, and child. So if someone today says, I should kill 3,000 people, men, women, and children, do you think that's God talking to them, or is that a demon? But that's what the scriptures say. And that's why some religions, all of them, they're all good, but they all have some archaic parts in them that if you don't speak on them, they are harmful to society, not helpful. They all have some good. So I don't believe you want to have an atheist society where you don't have any faith, okay? I think you want to have a well-balanced society, okay? What's insanity? A person who's out of balance, okay? And so and that's why I speak on these things, guys, because I think it does matter. Gina, there are cartoons for adults, Beauty and the Beast adult version. The YouTuber who committed suicide, Attica, he posted what they call like hentai porn. Hentai porn is like Japanese porn. And I think that is, I don't know if you want to call it demonic, but I think I've seen a couple people commit suicide right after they posted some cartoon porn. So I look at cartoon porn a little bit like I look at like transgender Chick-fil-A videos or stuff like that. Like, but I don't want to judge. Like if I'm watching panty sniffing porn and you're watching like, Power Ranger porn, I don't want to say like my porn is better than your porn. Okay. But what I do want to say is take it easy out there. Right. Don't get too excited. All right. Let's take positive. With Jordan hydration break. Well, brother, you saved me from the desert. Let's take hydration break. Hope you're doing well. I hope the same for you. In the promised land, brother, I am. Florida's the spot. Positive, everyone. Guys, over 100 degrees today. That's why Florida will never be crowded, because it's hot as hell during the day in the summer. And it's muggy and it's humid and it's hot. And people say, get the hell out of Florida. And I say, thank you. Like my man Milano once told me, he says, Sam, it's a good thing it gets hot in the summer. That keeps the masses away from Florida. And I said, brother, amen to that. Best advice you ever gave me. Backwoods, what's up, brother? Hey, Sammy. Glad to see you live, brother. It's glad to have you. You're a great person. I was driving, enjoying this beautiful day. Thumbs up to you. Then bam, you went live. That's what happens. Yeah, give me a lot of emojis. I hope life is treating you good. I take a good day when I can take it. And when I get a bad day, I just say, Sam, one day at a time. And he says, people are crazy. Yeah, and I don't judge them because we're all a little bit out there. Everyone has voices in their head, and I don't judge them. But again, if you're hurting other people, if you're a threat to society, if you're lashing out on others, then I don't agree with it. But I understand how the mind is very fragile, so I don't mock mental health. I make a lot of videos about mental health, just like physical health. Guys, I talk about physical health and losing 200 pounds a lot because I think it matters. I think every time you think of physical health, you should think of mental health. But a lot of times people don't. They're watching hentai porn. They're watching hentai porn. They're psychopaths. They got a service dog. And then they're mad at me. They're mad at me. I'm over there preaching self-care. They're watching hentai porn. They got a service dog. They're trying to kill people. It's crazy. But yeah, they want to kill the messenger. That's all right. Chrissy, hey Sam, peace emoji to the world. Well, hey, we try for world peace. We'll see what happens. Dennis, the demons aren't always brand new. They can be on the shelf for years. With that in mind, best listen to the angels as well. It's not easy. Again, I remember going from my sister to an AA meeting, and there was a guy who stood up. He said, man, I've been sober for 30 years. And as soon as he said that, I said, why the hell somebody who hasn't had a drink in 30 years, why would he still come to a meeting? And then it hit me. The next thing he said, he goes, I've been sober for 30 years. He goes, but I'm one drink away from being an alcoholic. And right there, it spoke to me. It spoke to me that this man understood that at any time we could be broken. And he put a lot of urgency, a lot of emphasis on being diligent and staying sober. Now, I'm not saying you have to go to AA meetings for the rest of your life, but this guy did. He felt like I have to be around positive people, so I wasn't mad at him. But it was always an interesting thing that always stuck with me. Dennis, get the whole thing and then choose. Hey, I hear that. Jacob, I agree, Sammy. You do you. What? Damn it, Jacob. That's why I like you, brother. You stay positive and say, hey, look, it ain't your job to judge other people, man. You just do you. Gina, people are usually love to brag about how many girls they had sex with. Yeah. I had friends that always asked me, when was the last time I had sex? None of their business, man. You just doing you. I survivor. My family is full of creepy stories. I can understand that, brother. Thank you for sharing. One cousin one day while eating dinner with her parents told me she was going to her room and would never come out until she's dead. She's probably still in there now. She's got a service dog and she's ordering pizza with her mom's credit card. And at night, she talks about killing her mom. Now, does she have a demon in her head? I don't know. All right, guys, let's stay positive. I Survivor, I love you, man. I Survivor continues. The other cousin never played the piano in her life. And one day sat down and played the piano like a pro. Damn, you got like the Exorcist in that house, man. Thank you for sharing. I Survivor. The other cousin looked exactly as the painting of a girl that killed herself. Damn, the exact copy. I Survivor. Good thing you got the hell out of there, man. You drive Uber and you never go back to that house, man. It's a disaster. Guys, what did Jesus say? He said, go to a house and speak your blessing over it. If the people don't receive it, dust the dirt off your feet and get the hell out of there. Okay. So if you go to someone's house and you say, look, I want you guys to live a great life, peaceful life, and the psychopaths are arguing with each other, they're fighting, they're ordering pizza on their mom's credit card, they got a service dog running around, it's total fucking disaster. You know what you should do? Just like Jesus said, dust your feet off, because believe me, there's plenty of dust in that house. Dust your feet off and get the hell out of there. That's what Jesus said. Now, will you guys listen? Probably not. Will I listen? Hell yeah, I got the hell away from any contentious family member, any contentious house. I tried to speak a blessing upon it, but if it got too wild, I'm getting the hell out of here. I can't deal with that, man. Nope, not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. Let's take a hydration break. Jacob, super chat for the socks. We're getting there. We're getting closer. We're doing 100 million super chat. Come on, someone. Well, damn it, brother. I appreciate those positive vibes. Dennis, innocent until you cop a plea or found guilty. No contest equals guilt. What happened to justice? Question mark. Good to see you, Sam. Always good to have you, brother. You're very insightful. I appreciate you. Always keep me thinking I love you, man. Love and respect. Same back to you, Dennis. Jacob, hey, Sam. Something came up, nothing bad. Just needs to be dealt with today. Well, don't get too upset. We'll watch the replay. I love you, brother. See you tomorrow. Jacob, you stay positive, man. And remember, Jacob, you speak your blessing on the people. And if they don't like it, don't argue with them, but just get away from them. And you stay positive, brother. We love you. Brandon, good to see you, my friend. I appreciate you positive vibes, man. You stay positive. Keep doing trucking and Uber. Zeus, facts. Thank you, brother. Man's here. Hey, man. Evening, 3 palm trees, 1 heart, and the sun emoji because she's from Southwest Florida. And she can tell you just as much as I can that it's hot as hell right now in Florida. Okay? Hot. Now, at night it cools down. In the morning it's cool. But during the day, total hot mania. Oh, yeah. The second Democratic presidential debates are on. Andrew Yang. Is he doing good? I want Andrew Yang to win. Look, guys, I want a free $1,000 a month. Okay? I don't care, man. They're giving corporations tax breaks. Everyone's getting screwed. Give the people $1,000. Fuck it. All right, let's continue to read. And the Democrat candidates, keep me updated. It's a whirlwind out there. Andrew Yang is the only one that excites me because that's the only one that's going to matter. Joe Biden sucks. Elizabeth Warren sucks. Let's get Andrew Yang in there. Let's get $1,000 per month UBI. Everyone gets universal health care. And whoever doesn't like them, let them masturbate to a Trump poster because I'm not mad at that. Good job. Harris is tearing into Joe Biden. Sleepy Joe. Getting a lot of overtime. Some big egos out there. Look, if you're running for president, doesn't matter who you are, Democrat or Republican, you got to have an ego. Because it's an egomaniac. So just like the president of the HOA. You think the president of the HOA is a psychopath on the low. And they got demons in their head. Not really, I'm just playing. But you have to have a certain level of like confidence or ego to get to that stage in life. Like that's why for me, I almost don't want to be president. Why? Because like, I just want to like chill and live a good, peaceful life. Now, I do feel something in me like I want to be a leader because I can't, like, even like I read that news article today, and that's why I want to do this live feed about this subject. I don't like to see people like not have the truth out there in a loving way. Not that I'm always right. I'm human. But look, when you're not willing to take the manager position, what happens is you're going to work for a jerk manager and you're going to be getting their coffee. If you're ever offered a promotion at job, if you're ever offered a promotion, thank you, Brandon. If you're ever offered a promotion and you won't take it, you're going to end up working for a bad person and you're going to have to get their coffee. I'm not saying you should take every promotion, but don't back away from a promotion because you're just going to have to work for an asshole that's going to take it. Brandon, thank you again, brother, for that love, that tip, and that encouragement. He says, this hydration break brought to you by Durkin's Lotion. Well, damn it, Brandon. I appreciate that. Let's take a hydration break to our good brother, Brandon. Thank you, man. I got some lotion in the back, too. Yeah. I appreciate you, brother. Brandon, love to you, man. Thank you. Jenny with Jordan. And Marin, you missed your shout out. Marin, I broke it down. I love you, Marin. You're a good person. Marin, my husband yelled at me. Why? You want to give him a blowjob? Maybe he will walk back out there. Jeez. Marin's husband. I love you, Marin. You're a great person. Marin's husband is a political junkie, and I think he's really pro-Trump. It's ironic because, like, Marin's like a socialist, and I love Marin. I'm not mad. Look, I want UBI, universal health care. I don't care who doesn't like it. Get out of here. And what I can tell you is this. I don't know if I could ever, see, like, I guess if you marry someone who has totally different political views, you're going to have, like, rough sex. But Marin, I don't even know. Are you having sex anymore? Now, you don't have to answer that. But I'm curious. Marin, please, if you want to answer, I'd be very interested. Marin, you're 70 years old. You're very much a liberal. Your husband's very much a conservative. I think your husband may masturbate to a Donald Trump poster. So do you guys still have sex? Or do you like basically hate your husband and you guys like emotionally abandon each other? Now, I don't mean this disrespectfully. But like in my mind, now these are my thoughts in my mind. These aren't demons. But I'm just like, and I love you, man. I respect you. I respect your husband. But I wonder about that. I wonder, cause sometimes, there was an episode of Seinfeld where Jerry Seinfeld was dating some like real goody two-shoe girl. And she was real nice. She did a lot of positive things in the community. She did a lot of charity. And George had asked Jerry, how's the relationship going? And he goes, yeah, she's real nice, but she's almost too nice. I can't have sex with her. And George goes, what do you mean you can't have sex with her? He goes, when someone's too nice, you don't think about having sex because having sex is like a depriving thing. Like like you saying, yeah, you like Trump, take this, or oh yeah, you like Hillary, take this, and so it's like a depriving thing. So, like I don't know, like if someone's like real nice, like you don't say like, oh, good job working at the homeless shelter tonight, like you want to say some nasty stuff. So I don't know though, but that's why Jerry couldn't have sex with her. She was too nice. Let me know your comments. I'm curious. I love you. Stay positive. Let's take a hydration break because it's hot. Marin, thanks for the shout, Marin. I love you. I love you. I respect you. Don't be upset. I love you. Brandon, thank you again, Brandon. Jerkins Lotion's in the house tonight. Now, I talk to myself, I get myself worked up, man. I appreciate that. January Jordan, Obama is chilling super hard now, 4-8 years, then unlimited retirement with health insurance. Look, all the presidents are, all the people in Congress, every citizen should have the same health care as every political official, Congress, senator, president. So, truth be told, Donald Trump's working for free. So I have to acknowledge, but so did Bloomberg. Bloomberg was the mayor of New York. He worked for free. I think both of them did some good things. But, you don't like that. You don't want to say like, oh, just because someone works for free, like that means like it's good. Bottom line is, I think every citizen should have the same health care as every elected public official that gets paid with tax dollars. Every police officer that has a pension, annuity, and all that, and firefighter, look, they're doing a service, but they're getting paid by taxpayers. So every taxpayer should have the same health care as every person they're paying. Every taxpayer, I'm a taxpayer, guys. And Trump and other entrepreneurs, look at that guy Grant who does the 10X rule. He says every rich person, your whole objective is not to pay taxes. Amazon doesn't pay taxes. You know who pay taxes? Middle class. Okay. And so the middle class don't have any health care, but we're employing police officers. We're employing military officers. We employ more people. The number one job, the number one employment is the military. Google it. Who is the number one employed government workers? Military. Who pays them? Taxpayers. It's not Amazon. They don't pay taxes. Okay. It's not, Trump. They dodge taxes. They write off the depreciation on their real estate, etc. It's the regular working class. But we pay the military. We pay police officers. We pay the freaky art teacher. Is there anything wrong with that? No. And Amazon corporations, they play a part in a healthy society. They create jobs. Donald Trump creates jobs. He creates green cards for hot immigrant wives. So what I could tell you is this. I believe that every American citizen should have universal basic health care. And I'm not going to be mad at $1,000 extra a month. Andrew Yang, 2020. Let's continue to read. Good job. Gerald, haha, Brandon. Thank you. Dennis, laughing. Good job, Brandon. We appreciate that, Brandon. Survivor. I did get away from there. Thumbs up. I moved out of the country. I'm not mad at that. You should have married Trump, man. You would have had some extra settlement money. That stuff was pretty scary. iSurvivor, you're a survivor, man. iSurvivor, I pray for the day you make videos, brother. Again, because iSurvivor made videos. He had some good videos. I watched every one. But I think he had voices in his head. He said, shit, my ex-wife might be watching this shit. And she may jack up the child support. Let me shut this channel down. I'm not mad at that. Like I say, I knew a guy who was pro-life and he wished death on his ex-wife. All right, so I'm not going to hear all you religious nuts who love Trump. I saw Trump at a faith and freedom conference. Some fat, overweight glutton who runs that organization says, Trump, you're the best president ever. You stand up for faith. We can say Merry Christmas again. He's a sinner. He's over there eating cheesecake, happy that we can say Merry Christmas again. Come on, guys. There was no war on Christmas. Give me a break. You're mad because your Starbucks coffee didn't say Merry Christmas? Starbucks CEO, if he's Jewish, should he have to put Merry Christmas on his coffee? If he shouldn't have to. And if he's atheist, no, look, hey, look, you don't have to say Merry Christmas if you don't want to. I don't care. As long as I don't have to say what you want me to say, just do whatever you want. That's what this country's supposed to be based on. Freedom of religion. That's the First Amendment right. The First Amendment right is you can protest the flag, you can stand or you can kneel for the national anthem. It's protected under the First Amendment right. All you nut jobs who love the Second Amendment, right to bear arms, that comes after the First Amendment. Okay. First Amendment is you got freedom of religion. You can do whatever you want. You want to be Muslim, you want to be Jewish, you want to be Christian, you want to be Buddhist, you want to be a transgender watching a Chick-fil-A video, I don't care. Guys, Google Chick-fil-A transgender. It's not about Chick-fil-A, it's not about Chick-fil-A, the food, it's a whole nother level, guys, whole nother level. And I love everyone out there watching, it's a whole nother level. Marin says, my husband like Yang too. Damn it, you're going to have sex tonight. Because if you both like Yang, you're going to get $1,000 extra a month. That's $2,000 in your household. Damn it, Marin, you about to get some tonight. You better get that lotion out. Like Brandon said, you better get that Jergens lotion out because you're going to get some tonight. Good job. Let's take that picture. Now let's continue. Brandon's laughing. Good job. XP Jeffy's laughing. Good job. Gina, Sammy, if some billionaire would say to you that he will super chat you $100 million, but you have to be his best friend for the rest of your life and visit him daily, would you agree? No. I cut off my father. He would have super chatted me $200,000 if I would have called him every week and let him basically have to be his friend, even though he didn't give me the freedom to be myself. So if someone's going to oppress me, I wouldn't do it. Or if someone's going to try to control and manipulate me, I wouldn't do it. Now, obviously, if I was destitute and I was starving and I had no other option, I probably would have to, because you have to survive like iSurvivor. Like when you're in a dictatorship, you know, it's not that necessarily you want to follow the dictator, because I believe most people are good, even people in bad countries that have dictators, but they got to survive. So if the dictator's going to super chat you to survive, you got to take the super chat. But in America, as long as I could work and earn my own way or vote for Andrew Yang, get $1,000 a month, shit, I'm not going to be controlled by anyone. Now, I would still like the $100 million, but just like my father, if I have to take it on the condition of I have to be controlled by you, I don't want it. And so that's why I'm living in my car. That's why I'm living on my terms, because I don't want to, I want to be myself, and I want everyone out there to be themselves. If you're, whatever you are, conservative, liberal, gay, straight, transgender, if you like that Chick-fil-A thing, I love you. But I may not like you, right? So, like, I stand for equal rights, right? But, like, that doesn't mean, like, just because I stand for equal rights, I'm going to like you. Like, just because you're rich doesn't mean you can buy my friendship. And just because, like, I believe you should have equal rights, I may not like you. And you may not like me, right? So, we don't all have to be friends. I don't want anything bad to happen to anyone. But, these are my thoughts. Dennis, I don't think you would, Gina. I just broke it down. But we'll listen to his reasoning while I just broke it down. Marin, yeah, Brandon, yeah, Marin's gonna get some tonight. Gang of Youth, what's up, man? My brother, a blessed night to you. Thank you. To one and all, just tune in from Queens. Well, shout out to Queens, you and Gilbert in the house. Shout out to Nas. Q Bars in the house. Marin. Andrew Yang and others aren't getting equal airtime. Well, that's part of the game. Biden, Sleepy Joe, Camilla, and Bernie. It's sad. Well, hey, look. Yeah, look. Andrew Yang has the math, but he don't have the emotion. And that's why I don't think he's going to be able to pull it off. I hope he does. But you got to get up there like the guy who said the rent's too damn high. I don't even, that guy from New York who used to say the rent's too damn high, no one even knew what the hell he was talking about. But he had emotion. And he knew how to, like, put a catchy phrase out there. Like Trump said, make America great again. He started throwing shit around. That's how you get people's attention. Like, you can't go up there and say, bing, da boom, da bing, da boom. You got to get up there. You got to say, look, free socks for everyone's going to masturbate tonight. And, like, so everyone looks around and says, who the hell's that? That's Inspirational Nomad. What's he talking about? Shit, I'm talking about running for 2020. Then all of a sudden, everyone said, oh, shit, this guy's good. And I said, yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. And nobody even knows, like, what the hell we're going to do. But I'm getting people fired up, man, because I'm inspirational. I got emotion. But I also got math. But what I'm trying to tell you is you got to have some emotion. Okay? Because if not, you ain't gonna get to the top of the game. You gotta have emotion, you gotta be in self-control, though. You gotta have a little bit of both. All right, let's take that, George. All right, let's continue reading. Marin, Andrew is so insightful, yeah, but he don't have enough emotion. But the public can't get a grip if he can't talk more than 60 seconds. He's got to demand. He's got to take control, man. Like, I remember I was dating a girl. She said, Sam, I want a guy who takes control. Now, I am a take control guy, but she was playing psychological warfare. And then, you know who she ended up dating? Some psychopath that took control, and she had to file a restraining order. He took so much control that he was out of control. Total psychopath. So what happened to her? She ended up getting a restraining order and a service dog because she had high anxiety. She had high anxiety because she dated psychopaths. And what I can tell you is this. I don't know what we're talking about now. All right, let's continue. And then he goes, same for Miranda Wilson. You guys like politics. Marion's laughing. My husband, yeah, you get sometimes he likes Yankton. Marion. My husband is like me. Okay, you're both the same. Both very liberal. I like that. There's wild sex there. Yeah, good job laughing. I love you. Dennis. Wow, damn, I'm getting old. Chick-fil-A is a whole nother thing. Oh, yeah. Thanks for the insight. The demons made me get it. Let's stay positive. Marion, 2 palm trees, heart. We like Bernie, Yang, Wilson, and I like some guy from Washington last night. I never get upset with you. I love you, man. Thank you. Danny, what's up, man? Hey, Sam. How are the hot milfs? I had to masturbate today. Thank God Brandon gave me a super chat for some more Jergens lotion. Because, brother, I see a MILF, and I have a voice in my head. I say, oh, shit. Look at that ass. And I said to myself, I'm gonna take a screenshot in my mind. Now, see, some people who don't have good mental health, they may have a mental illness. They have that voice in their head, and they see a hot MILF, and they can't say, oh, man, she looks hot. Like, I'm going to, like, masturbate later, or I'll find a girl like her, or I'll talk to her. Like, they can't control. And so, like, they do go, like, to rape her or to abduct her or to say something crazy to her. And, like, now, is that a demon? No, this is an out-of-control mind. Because your pastor's still masturbating, guys. Come on. But please, down in Florida, especially the good parts, there's a lot of now, but in Boca Raton, there's a lot of hot MILFs. But there's also people with bad mental health, too, like everywhere else. And that's why I started this live feed. There was a guy in Boca Raton. His wife had mental illness. She went to a mosque, and they told her that she has demons in her head, and it worked her up even more, and she basically ended up killing herself. And even one of my favorite movies, The Devil's Advocate, with Al Pacino and Keanu Reeves, that's what happened, too. And that was a good movie. Remember Nori said deep, just like Devil's Advocate, is like this girl, like, because, like, Kevin, what was his name? Keanu Reeves was a lawyer in Florida. He had an undefeated record as a lawyer, and he was doing a child molestation case. And he knew the guy who was a molester had bad voices in his head, and he knew he molested the girl. But instead of him saying, look, the guy's guilty, he defended the guy because he wanted to keep his perfect record as a attorney. And so he ended up like getting this molester off. And so then he gets offered this great job in New York by Al Pacino. This is the movie called Devil's Advocate. So then he gets this big lawyer job in New York because he's a perfect record lawyer. And then his wife comes up to New York with him, and his wife starts to go crazy. She has voices in her head because they're tempted by all these different things in the city that they're not used to. And she basically commits suicide because that's what the movie's about. Like, she's fighting demons in her head. And it's a very good movie, guys. But, I mean, so, again, could it be like a demonic thing? Yeah, but it's just like a demon is a way to describe something bad, right? But it doesn't necessarily mean like, what the devil looks like is just artwork. And what God looks like is just artwork. These are just like spirits, right? But there's also science. There's some neurons or some like mental illnesses that has nothing to do with spirituality. It's just some people can't control their thoughts. So there's a mixture of all those things. Let's continue to read. Maren, we don't think of ourselves as old. Well, all right. Just other people's opinions. Well, you're out there. I love you. Like when you get to be 40 or 50, you'll see. I'm almost 40. I'm 39. I'm middle-aged. I'm not young. I'm middle-aged. The average life expectancy is 80. So, Maren, if you're 70 and if your husband's 75, you guys better have sex tonight because your husband may die soon. Now, I don't want you guys to die. I hope you live forever. I saw someone post today that I watch on YouTube. They said they want to live to 120. I said, why the hell would you want to live to 120? After 90, your quality of life is going like this, big time. And you're lucky if at 90 you got good quality life. So I'm not mad at you though. I don't want anyone to die. And just live life one day at a time. Don't think like tomorrow I'm gonna die, but I think you do have to live with some urgency. So if you want to do something, I think you should do it responsibly. Because before you know it, we get too old, we don't have enough energy. And that's true. So you got to balance all those things out. Good job. Marin, Andrew Yang is a visionary. Yeah, but he doesn't have enough passion. He's got to be careful with that. But I like him. I'm going to vote for him. Probably. We'll see. But I don't even think he's going to. I hope he wins. Journey with Jordan. Free Planet Fitness socks and Starbucks for all. Yes! Let socialism begin. Inspirational Nomad 2020. Yeah! Good job. Marin. And so is Mariana Wilson. Danny, your mind can only think one thought at a time. Stay those demons. I can have multiple thoughts. I don't know. It's interesting. Brandon, Marin, I like Pete Buttigieg. However you spell it. I don't know how you say it either. But he's kind of screwed up a bit tonight. You guys like politics. I'm not mad at you. I love you. Brandon, I'm okay with government healthcare if there's some accountability. Well, there ain't no accountability right now in the private sector because they're getting away with murder. Can't keep smoking a pack a day and expecting everyone to pay your cancer treatment. Well, you can't keep selling cigarettes. Philip Morris is a publicly traded company. Why do we allow them to sell death on a stick? We allow Chick-fil-A, which is a Christian-based organization. They close on Sunday, but they sell some of the most unhealthiest food in America. And they refuse to cover certain healthcare benefits. So we have to decide in America, do we want to let corporations sell cigarettes just because they give a dividend to their investors? Or do we want to say, look, you know what? We're either going to tax the shit out of you because you basically sell death on a stick, or we're just going to print money and give people healthcare because we allow corporations to sell death on a stick. At some point, we have to acknowledge either we're going to totally submit to the corporations and their will, and corporations are lobbying the government every day. Corporations are paying millions of dollars to have professional lobbyists get into the ears of senators to create laws to skew in their favor. So we, the people, have to also get in the government's ear and have laws skewed in our favor. There's nothing wrong with asking the government to pass laws in your favor. That's what corporations do. And that's why they're able to sell death, sell cigarettes, sell fast food. They're all publicly traded companies. But because they give a dividend to their shareholders, and that's what capitalism is, we operate solely based off profit. But Social Security is socialism. Medicare, when you're 65, is socialism. Let me tell you something. You're going to thank God they have it. And if you do Uber, if you do different things like that, which I've done DoorDash, and if you don't have health care, you're screwed. You get hit by a semi-truck doing DoorDash, whether you're the semi-truck driver or whether you're DoorDash and you don't have health care, you can lose everything you ever worked for. Everything. You could be eating a plant-based diet, or you could be smoking cigarettes, eating at Chick-fil-A, and you get hit. You know why we have car insurance? The government mandates car insurance. You know what state in America has the highest car insurance? Florida. Why? Because Florida has the most uninsured drivers. So when you have uninsured people, they put the burden of cost on the people who pay for insurance. So I had one viewer in here called Van Life. He says, Sam, I can't afford insurance and I'm not going to do it. And he goes, if I get sick or something happens, I'll just pay the bare minimum or I'll just go into bankruptcy. Who's going to pay the rest of that? The American taxpayer. So let the government subsidize and give everyone health care. That's why everyone has to have car insurance. Because look, if you don't have car insurance, it makes your rates go up. That's what we have. So I hear you want accountability, but we have to hold corporations accountable too. Corporations, their sole operating purpose is to maximize profit to give back to their shareholders. That means if they don't have to pay health care, they won't, because it'll maximize profits. And DoorDash, Uber, a lot of companies don't pay health care anymore. And so, Trump he had a clothing line. He made his clothes in China. So he's talking about putting tariffs on China for fair trade. What are the tariffs on? A lot of it's on agriculture. So what is he doing he's subsidizing the farmers. We are giving government assistance to the farmers because we're until China buys more farm products. We don't need China to buy more farm products. And even if they did, we subsidize oil companies. So the government subsidizes a lot of things. A lot of corporations. Why? Because again, corporations lobby the federal government. So if there's accountability on people for not smoking cigarettes, where's the accountability for the corporations who sell the cigarettes? And science has proved, even though the corporations, it's also proven that corporations lied to the public and had scientists create studies to show that smoking was harmless. Doctors lied and said smoking was harmless. And then you got a whole generation hooked on cigarettes. They used to advertise the cigarettes with Camel Joe, like, Sleepy Joe. They used to have Camel Joe, a cartoon, on a cigarette pack to advertise to young kids. Those young kids now are grown adults with lung cancer. There used to be an advertisement of a cowboy, a real American, getting a horse. And that's like, you're in Texas, you're a cowboy, smoke a cigarette. You're John Wayne. Where's the accountability? All the money the corporations, the cigarette companies made, they should pay for every medical bill ever incurred or will be incurred by any cigarette product. San Francisco just made e-cigarettes illegal, I think. So those are my thoughts on accountability on society and how corporations have basically put a big dildo up the ass of the public. And then when the public say, oh, that dildo's not enough lube on it, they say, shut up, you socialist. It's your fault for not taking accountability for your life. Well, I'm sorry, this dildo in my ass is causing me to need health care. I'm sorry, this cigarette in my mouth that you advertised to me as a child that you got me addicted to because you had engineers create the most addictive substance in the world. I'm sorry now that I'm not strong enough to say no, but guess what? You can't have health care. So, those are my thoughts. Let's take hydration. I love you, Brendan. Dang. I like meditating in seminaries. Well, damn, that's a little bit grim. Now, I like masturbating in my car. I don't know if I like meditating, but I mean, it's good for solace. But there's some people in the goth porn. Now, that's the type of porn I don't watch either, even though it could be straight porn. But I don't watch like gothic porn. But there's some people into that. Like, I see there's some porn out there that like have sex with your sleeping sister. I don't get into that, but there's some people that get into that. So everyone's different, guys. But I'm not mentioning Dennis. Do not go quietly into that good night. Thanks for encouraging the resistance to the powers that be by conforming the way of life. Thank you. Journey with Jordan. Florida has a concentration of very expensive cars on the road. Shout out to Naples. Yeah, shout out to Naples, and then shout out to Okeechobee, Florida. They got some meth heads. So you can go to a variety of different towns. Some are going to be rich, some are going to be poor. You can go to West Palm Beach. There's a lot of poverty and drugs in there. You go 10 minutes over a bridge, you go to Palm Beach by Mar-a-Lago, some of the wealthiest communities you've ever seen. So some of it is, look, people are, but you have 10% of society that's bad news. You have 10% of society that tries to control society. You got the vast majority of people that are 80%. 80% of the country are good and decent no matter what their walk of life. And they're the ones that get screwed. They're the ones that have the tax burdens because the corporations are dodging them. The people with not doing anything, they're not paying any taxes. So you got the vast majority loading the burden. And the vast majority should be taken care of. And so we should also have some benefit. We're basically the ones building the country. Corporations are pulling the strings. There's always going to be some laggers that are just mentally unstable. They can't work a job. Now, you don't want someone with voices in their head that can't control those voices working at Walmart. I've seen some people like that. There's some people that they got so many voices in their head. The best thing for them is to be in a house, maybe with a service dog, but one, and that's it. Because let me tell you something, they're psychopaths, man. And if they have to deal with greeting people at Walmart, all it takes is for one coworker, one person to walk in and not say the right thing, and they go psychopath. I've seen it. So there's some people that can't work, but it's only 10%. There's some people that are lazy. There's some rich people that are scumbags. Like, just because you're rich and you're a capitalist and you're successful, that doesn't mean you're a good person. I know a lot of people at that level, and they're manipulative and they're dodging taxes. Not all of them. Again, there's a certain percentage, but I believe the vast majority, rich, poor, and in the middle, are good and decent. And that's my analysis on life. Danny, no countries wants our toxic foods, hormones, GMOs. Well, again, America is still overall pretty good. There's a lot of good foods. And most people just don't have self-control. I understand. I used to be a glutton. But certainly, I don't want to see you at a Trump faith and freedom conference and you're a glutton and you're talking about how great Trump is for faith and freedom when he's been divorced 3 times and committed adultery with a porn star on his wife. You can say, hey, look, I agree with his policies, but as far as my faith, he's a total demon. Now, just like Bill Clinton, you can say he was a demon. He was adulterous. So was Trump. So no one has a right to basically judge someone else. The bottom line is we're all saved by grace. It doesn't matter if you're Trump, Clinton, you got to debate policy, okay? And policy is we care more about corporations than we do the people. We give corporations tax breaks. We give the 80% of Americans, we got temporary tax breaks for 10 years. Why did we get temporary tax breaks and corporations got unlimited, indefinite? They're job creators. They're job creators with no pensions, no health care. There's no regulation on them. Now, they're a blessing. I want corporations to do good, but they're already making record profits. Shouldn't we have health care too? And look, let's just have the government print more money then. They're already printing money. So, that's how I feel. Dang, Russia is the only country that banned GMOs. Yeah, but GMOs are genetically modified organisms or something. You could be fat and eating no GMOs. GMOs are for people who don't want to do the research of food labels. GMOs aren't going to kill you. It's the sugar content. It's the sodium. GMOs are just like engineered seeds. There's nothing wrong with that. Or organic, not using certain pesticides. That's not going to kill you. What's going to kill you is the sugar additives that corporations put in their food to make it addictive. The extra sodium, the extra salt. So GMOs and organic food, I'm not saying there's not some benefit in going that way, but they're not going to get you healthy, okay? Healthy is eating less Chick-fil-A, okay? Because if Chick-fil-A, even if it's non-GMO, guys, this shit's unhealthy. Chipotle, even if it's not GMO, this shit's unhealthy. Your pizzeria, even if they say this is organic pizzeria, guys, it's fucking cheese and dough, all right? So I'm not saying you can't treat yourself. But you also have to wake up and say, look, GMO's not what's killing you. It's the extra cheese. And it's the cigarettes. So if you're smoking cigarettes and GMOs, come on. You know how many cigarettes Russians smoke? I grew up with a couple Russians. They chain smokers like a mug. And so even though they banned GMOs, they're also letting corporations just sell them cigarettes. So guess what they get? They all got lung cancer now. They all got lung cancer. They don't have GMOs. But, hey, should they have the right to smoke? Yeah, they should have the right to smoke. I survived. Everyone earning a paycheck have Medicare and Medicaid. And you also want the psychopaths that aren't. Everyone should have it. Screw it. Payroll. Let me read this slowly. Everyone earning a paycheck have Medicare and Medicaid and Medicare payroll tax deductions already. Raise these taxes another 5% and offer national health care. Private insurance will have to compete lower prices. Yeah, look, because even though your taxes are 5% lower than, example, Canada, you still have to pay out of your pocket. And when you pay out of your pocket for health care, it's usually 5% more. But there's a lot of people that don't pay for health care, and they're not for government health care. So they're not willing to cover themselves, but then if they get an accident, they're going to stiff the hospital. And then guess who's going to have to pay for it? Every citizen that wanted universal health care. Okay? Because I pay for my health care, guys, out of my paycheck. And when I had my own company, and when I looked to pay for it out of my personal company, guys, it's a total disaster. You're talking about $500 to $1,000 a month. So let the government, who's $22 trillion in debt, who prints money to buy weapons of mass destruction. We're mad at Iran. We don't want them to have a nuclear weapon. We invaded a sovereign nation, Iraq. Iraq didn't have weapons of mass destruction. Iran should be saying to us, we shouldn't have weapons of mass destruction. We were wrong. George Bush should have went to trial. I know Saddam Hussein was an asshole, but we set a precedence that you can go to war with a country under a certain reason. And even if that reason turns out not to be justified, you can do it and get away with it. So we have no right now to say to Iran, you can't have weapons of mass destruction. We're hypocrites. I'm not saying I like Iran necessarily. I'm sure 80% of the people in their society, just like 80% of Americans, are good. I'm sure they got psychopaths, just like we got psychopaths here with a service dog. But guys, wake up. 80% of Iranians good, 80% of Americans good. The people who controlling it, some of them are George Bush, some of them are good people, some of them are bad people. I'm not Jimmy Carter. I'm not saying just let people do whatever they want. But what I'm trying to tell you is take it to another level of thought. You'll find some interesting stuff. Good job. Dennis, 80% with 80% written on their foreheads. Gems tonight. Thank you, brother. I love you. Brandon, I love you. Don't be mad at me. I know you're probably pissed at me now. You want to retract super chat. I love you. Don't be mad, Brandon. I love you. I know it's tough when you talk politics, but I know. Yeah, your weight loss video is awesome. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Journey with Jordan. But I also want to say, look, I lost 200 pounds, but my mom can't control her food. My mom worked her whole life. She was a single mother. She raised 3 kids. My father paid child support. My mother worked till she was 70. She worked in a supermarket that didn't pay her health insurance, and her knee gave out in her. Thank God she had socialism Medicare, because after you're 65 or 67, you get Medicare. She worked for a corporation that didn't provide health care. And even if they did provide health care, she couldn't afford it, okay? Because guess what they were paying a 70-year-old woman? $10 an hour, okay? So I don't want to hear, I know there's lazy people in society, but shit, I'm not one of them, so I don't want to hear shit. And I'm telling you, we should have universal health care, okay? And because what I've seen in my life and my family and those around me, I know people are going to abuse it, but right now corporations are abusing society and no one cares because in the name of capitalism, let them keep abusing a society as long as they give a dividend to their stockholders. Screw that. Screw that. I don't agree with that. Let's take hydration break. Jordan. Japan has the highest percentage of cigarette smokers. I definitely watch some Japanese porn. Not the cartoon porn, not the hentai porn, but the regular. Yet one of the lowest cancer rates. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Well, we also nuked Japan, right? Now Japan's our best friends. Guys, remember when we nuked Japan? We used weapons of mass destruction. Why? Well, Pearl Harbor. So it was justified, you could say a little bit. But we are one of the only countries in the history of the world that's used weapons of mass destruction. Okay, so that's interesting too. We don't want other countries to have it, but guess what? The only country is to use a weapon of mass destruction, America. Why? Because, hey, look, we said it's justified. And that's what it is. Good job, Brandon. Never thought of it that way. I love you, brother. Thank you for not being upset with me. I love you, Brandon. Never thought of it that way. I do know that in Europe, they banned certain dyes from the food. But over here, they still allow them, though. Studies have showed that they may cause certain cancers. Well, brother, I just thank you that you still love me, and I appreciate you. Dennis, lung cancer, Journey with Jordan. Highest stomach cancer. Okay, that's interesting. Good comments. Journey with Jordan, interesting. I'll have to look into that. Yeah, that's a good comment. Dennis, thumbs up on me. Thank you. Brandon, I'm not mad at you, Sam. Thank God. I got to speak that truth. Getting angry doesn't accomplish things. Well, I appreciate that. I get a little fired up. It's good to discuss different viewpoints. I appreciate you. I know I got the bully pulpit, so I know it's a little bit unfair because, like, I'm all animated and I'm fired up. And, like, you can't really leave a comment to, like, express yourself like how passionately I am. So I understand that, you know, like, it's a little bit unfair. Like, I got this big platform, even though I got, like, 34 people in here. But for me, I know my voice, like, I'm projecting in a certain way. So, but either way, brother, thank you for that. I appreciate you still loving me. Let's end on a positive note. And let me say this, that we all have voices in our head, some good, some bad. There's some part of society that just can't control their mind. And I used to fight that for years, that if you want to lose weight, just lose weight. But what I learned looking at my mother is that some people, they don't have that switch in their head to just lose weight. There's some people, they get addicted to cigarettes or drugs. They don't have that switch in their head where they can turn off. I'm not saying they can't. But I've had family members who are addicts, who are food addicts and drug addicts, and some people have mental problems, all in my family. And some of them I dislike and I don't spend time with them. But even them, I want them to have some basic services. And I don't want a church to preach to them that you have a demon in your head. I do believe we need faith. I don't want to have an atheist country. But I don't want us to have, but even when you get medical care, there's plenty of people that get all the right medical care and they still make the wrong decision. So there's no one answer to life. You're never going to make life perfect. Okay. But I believe through good conversation, and you guys left some good comments, we unwrapped another layer of truth, of peace, of, going forward. And that's all we can do. All we can do is what we can do, but stay positive. Your number one job is to keep yourself in a good place. So watch the people around you, even if it's me. If I'm not good for your mental health, don't watch me. I don't want to hurt you. And vice versa. Take care of yourself. Try to go for a walk. Try to eat healthy as best you can. And stay positive, guys. Peace, love, and thank you, everyone. Thank you, Brendan. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate you.